Shalawam, shalawam. Shalom, shalom. Hey, turning to the east. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well and sincerely taught us this truth. Shalom to the Lord, told for elect. All right, it's your brother Yerami Kazak back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kadash. True names of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah equals He is. Yahawashi equals He saves, He delivers, He is salvation, and Rakakadash equals a spirit that's holy, a spirit that's set apart. All right, without further ado, let's get into this video. This lesson will be entitled The Violent History of the Whore, which is America, also known as Babylon. All right, let's let this go.
Why is America so violent? Why do we have the highest murder rate among industrialized nations? Why do we have the highest prison and incarceration rate in the country? Why does violence permeate our society? People look in very different directions as to why America is so violent. Some look to history. The genocide practiced against Native Americans in this country, with almost 15 million wiped out by settlers through violence, shooting, killing, and disease is one factor that some look at. Slavery in this country, which resulted in a bloody civil war, 1 million casualties. These historical events such as these, we've never resolved. Some people might call it karma, or we reap what we sow. We are a warring empire, some people believe. We've been fighting wars, at least since the beginning of the 20th century, a continuing string of wars with millions upon millions of casualties. We've become very much a militarized empire with bases around the world. Some historians argue that we're suffering blowback, and that's the term they use for this. In other words, retribution. That's why countries hate us around the world, because they feel we are a warring empire. And that's why we've had this blowback or terrorism practiced against us, even on our own soil and in other countries. But I guess the question is there something fundamental in American culture? Is it just our history, our technology, our economic structure? I think the problem lies with us. We've peered into the void, and it is us. We're an isolated, lonely society with broken families, parents who aren't home. We have children that are living in a virtual community with no face-to-face contact. We have parents that are hooked on Blackberries, their computers, or maniacally attached to cell phones. So what's happened to young children, not only are they locked in virtual communities where they have no face-to-face relationships, they're isolated. And they're isolated from the rest of society. And when you get isolation, often people live in their heads. And when you get people who live in their heads, you get sporadic violence, people who feel like they have to take out, and this is the key word, anger. People are angry about something. What are they angry about? I think that they're basically angry at the fact that they've been left out. I mean, who can live in an earphone world all their lives? So really the question in the end is, it's American culture and how we live our lives today. And we've just forgotten that children are important, that the community is important, that our neighbors are important. In other words, we need one another. And if we don't get back to the ideal, violence is going to continue to escalate in this country. And that's why we do have violence in America.
Hey, you said a lot of good points, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to start with Ecclesiastes 1:9, because what did he say? America is a warring empire. All right. So Ecclesiastes 1:9, the thing that have been is it that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. All right. So America, once again, you know what I'm saying, it's Rome. Okay. It's that beast. It's that whore, that system, which is come back along with the UK and Europe and France and Spain and all that. All these Edomites are back in a position of power, right? And that's what he's recognizing, even though he may not understand from a biblical standpoint, but that's what America is. You know, it's back in power. It's that deadly beast that suffered that wound but is back in power. Verse 10, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It have been already of old time, which was before, right? None of this is new, man. Okay? Rome is the same, how the same, same emperors, same society, same political system, right? And the same corruptness, the same assassinations, right? Shoot, everything that goes on in America is the same stuff that went on in Rome. The swingers, the festivals of orgies and things of that nature, same stuff that went on with Roman society and Greek society, right? So nothing is new, even though it's just in a modern swing. It's not new though, right? So with that being said, let's go to Zechariah 1:15, because he's touching on all this stuff that America did, right, over the time frame. And it reads, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped for the affliction. Now, America, man, if you look at the way that they treated us, the things that they did, yeah, we were supposed to go in captivity, yeah, of course. But the butt breaking, the cutting our manhood off, taking our, all the stuff that they did. It was over extra and extra over the top. That's why I showed you that this YT man, he's the utmost definition of wickedness, right? He is that guy. Okay, it can't be nobody else, man. I don't get why individuals don't get this. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked being Esau Edom. This is who the earth is ruled by right now. All right. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. First, love being Yahawah and Yahawashi, and then the saints. So he's what? He's had us in graves. He didn't put us in graves. He didn't tell us who we were for over 350 years, 3 days and a half. He didn't let us know, right? He had us wandering around looking crazy, right? And then Yahawah brought it upon the Holy Spirit to flow and to come through, Abba Bibbins to come through, and this truth to flow down. And now, hey, we back standing upon our feet again, as it states in Revelation, the 11th chapter, right? So it's all prophecy for this to come to pass. So this devil had to be that devil. He had to do all the things that he did. And it's a beautiful thing for us to be, like some brothers say, man, it's a great time to be alive. It is definitely, it is. All right, because this rulership is over. In a time frame, it's about to be over. Now, this is Job 20:5. I'm gonna go down to 20. That the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So he's in his empire, he's ruling, yeah, but hey, it's not gonna last long. It's short. He can hoo ha ha, right? He's winning right now. He thinks he has an advantage, but we ultimately know the full blueprint. We ultimately know how the house is gonna be built. We know how it's gonna look at the end, right? Verse 6, though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach unto the clouds. He spans, he puts his satellites up, right? He has all this stuff going on the earth for him. Okay, he rules by the sword. As I'm gonna do a lesson later on, you see how he took the Madero dude, he conquered, in a sense, he conquered Venezuela, because hey, what did DJT say yesterday? I watched the little press conference, and he said, yeah, we're gonna run the country. We're gonna run the country. All right. So they're about to run this country until a proper transition is happening. And what that simply means is when we select somebody to put in as a puppet, because that's all it's gonna be now. It's gonna be a puppet government. Okay, the same thing that what Mexico is. It's a puppet government. All right. This is what America is known for doing. Setting up puppet governments, coming in, causing a coup, and causing chaos in that country, and then setting up a public government, assassinating the president or getting him took out somehow, and then setting up a puppet. where they can rule via that puppet. This is common. This is common practice. It's nothing, long, like, no, it's not out there. It's not far. It really happens. And they show you this in their movies, their TV shows, right? So keeping it going. Verse 7, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of sin of his youth, which shall be down with him in the dust. This man is known as the wicked. He's known as the man of sin, the son of perdition. He is that, right? His ultimate purpose is to be wicked. Matter of fact, let's go to Psalms 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahawah, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. His purpose is to kill. It is to destroy. He is that sword. And then he will ultimately get destroyed, as we're reading right here in Job 20th. Right? Verse 12. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. All right, he'll get in, make friends with a country, with a nation, and then ultimately take out that nation if they don't align to what he wants to do, what he wants to bring upon them. Okay? Though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat and his bowels is turned. It is the gall of apes within him. He has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Yahawah shall cast them out of his belly. He what? Micah 2 and 1 and 2. He goes forth, he covets lands. He takes over. Venezuela, as brothers have been bringing out, is full of what? It's full of oil, but also it's full of gold. All right? Also, it's full of silver. Also, it's full of other valuable minerals. So America hit the jackpot. And hey, if brothers ever played Call of Duty Ghosts, this happened in Call of Duty Ghosts. Matter of fact, I might get that later on, or in the next lesson, where Venezuela and Call of Duty Ghosts came out 12 years ago. Venezuela was what? It was took over, where you had to go in and fight the evil dictator. So it's all a script, man. Right? It's beautiful. Keeping it going. Verse 17, he shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he buildeth not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. This man has took over damn near the entire planet. Where is Esau not? He's conquered all of Africa. He's conquered Australia. He's conquered majority of Asia. All right. He's conquered all the Americas. That's well documented with the French, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the British, and the Spanish. Okay. So he's conquered. He's took all these lands which are not his. He never goes back home to Jordan, to Mount Seir, to Petra. He don't dwell in Edom, but he dwells everywhere else. All right. Let's go to, matter of fact, I got another video, because he has a violent history. Okay. Esau has a violent history. Matter of fact, let's get this on AI overview. The United States, the whore, has militarily engaged with a large number of countries, with sources citing over 70 to nearly all nations in some form of involvement, ranging from declared wars and large invasions like Iraq, Vietnam to covert operations, bombings, and interventions to countries like Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, Panama, and numerous Latin American nations, particularly since World War II. The exact number depends on how attacked or involved is defined, but lists include dozens of countries for bombing and interventions with estimates suggesting involvement in most of the world's countries. This man ruling by the sword, man. It's not hard to see. And that's not even to mention all the coups, all the false rebel groups that he has set up in countries, such as Al-Qaeda, such as ISIS, such as, all these type of things, insurgent groups that he set up to go and dismantle a country, right? So he has a history of violence. Let's let this one go.
Overseas, at least 7 people have been killed in demonstrations across parts of Iran, with the violence escalating after close to a week. So is the tension between President Trump and top Iranian officials. Natalie Brand and Elizabeth Palmer are following the situation and bring us the latest.
In a new warning, President Trump said on social media, if Iran kills peaceful protesters, the United States will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
It's the president's second threat against the country in recent days. On Monday, saying there are unconfirmed reports Iran is rebuilding its nuclear program following U.S. strikes on key sites last June.
If it's confirmed, look, they know the consequences. Consequences will be very powerful. Maybe more powerful than the last time.
Well, President Trump has not specified his next steps. Iran expert Alex Patanka says the tough talk could embolden the protesters.
We shouldn't underestimate the value of an American president who floats the idea of U.S. support for the protesters.
Possibly helping to keep this latest movement alive. Elizabeth Palmer is in London with details on the protests.
Right now, social media videos are our only window on this unrest, as journalists aren't allowed anywhere near it. Today they were chanting marchers in Malard near Tehran, but there's been violence too. Cars outside a police station set on fire in Anza. Gunfire at a clash in Kordasht. So far the protests have mainly been in the west and south. 7 people are reported to have been killed, and the security forces are trying to put down the uprisings by force. Meanwhile, the politicians talk dialogue. People are dissatisfied, admitted the president, and we are at fault. Actually, most people are really struggling. Food prices are up 70% this year. And in Tehran, contacts tell me that some days when they turn on the taps, there is no water. President Trump's post is a warning from abroad, of course, but the regime's most urgent threat is fury and frustration spilling over at home. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, London.
Hey, come on. So that's what's going on over there. Now, easily, what? U.S. could have set this up. Now, that's speculation. But this is their MO. All right, as it came out in Libya, that this was their MO. Look at the country of Libya before Gaddafi was took out, right? Look at it now. It's in straight chaos. Look at Cuba, right? Look at hey, watch the movie, watch Snowfall. Okay? You was funding your war by selling drugs in America. Funding a war to bring down a country that does not align with you. Okay? Warfare is in many different ways, man, many different forms. First, psychological. Propaganda is a major function of warfare. All right? To first increase the perspective that your enemy is evil. And I ain't saying nothing about the freaking, what's the dude, Maduro, like, hey, the atmosphere in Venezuela is probably bad, right? But America takes it and heightens it to another point. And furthermore, you have no business going and taking over that country. This is, what are you, the ruler of the earth? But they are. They are. Because the wicked rule the earth. So it's all through the spirit that they go forth and do this stuff, man. right? They justify it by saying, oh yeah, this guy he's doing this and doing that. They justify it. And then they put it on the news channels, right? And Americans eat it up. This is Psalm 64:1. Hear my voice, O Yahawah, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, right? They attack you first and what? The judicial system of it. They have this man, Maduro, they have him going to court. They're bringing him up on charges, right? That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Okay, so just stop this. Take it to DJT. All right. And that's the thing that they always do too. I'm glad it stopped right there. You know, they threaten. They threaten countries. All right. Hey, you don't want to align, we're gonna turn your country into hell. All right. We're gonna turn it into straight chaos. And you know that we have the ability to do it. This right here, them capturing the president, this is ultimately a threat to the rest of the world. Y'all better get in line, or we gonna come in, you know what I'm saying? We'll create this and we'll come in and take it over. So it's just Esau exercising his blessing. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Going at Yahawah, Yahawashi, the pride. All right, the proudness of this individual, man. Esau, Edom. 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares. Privately they say, who shall see them? They never expected anybody to figure out that they're the ones causing all these violent protests. Even in America, it's the same formula. You have what you call Antifa that goes forth and creates protests and makes them be violent. When the people in general, they were just peacefully protesting, walking and doing what they do. But then Antifa comes through with Molotov cocktails, breaking windows, breaking in stores, rioting, looting, you know? So you have what you call controlled chaos, order out of chaos, right? And that's the MO of America. That's how they do. And they like, who shall see me? Who shall see them? Verse 6, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Every single Edomite. There's no such thing as a righteous Edomite. All right? They think long and hard. They're wicked. When times go, when Jacob's trouble come, your neighbor Bob next door, he's not going to be your friend, man. All right? Verse 7, but power shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. You got what you call whistleblowers. These individuals exposing Esau for what he truly is. Edomites exposing Edomites. You know? And that's what it is. They're making their own tongue fall upon themselves. They show you in the movies, like I just said, they showed you in Call of Duty Ghost 12 years ago that Venezuela was going to fall. And look at it today. Look at them today, doing what they're doing today. And that script was given to a video game designer over 14 years ago because they had to put the game together. And then it came out to the public. And now they're moving on it. Is it coincidence? Nah. All right. Let's read that again. Psalm 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. All men shall fear and shall declare the work of Yahawah, for they shall wisely consider of his doings. When Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi comes forth, brings forth the destruction and the complete annihilation of this kingdom, nobody's going to question. Okay? Everybody on this planet is going to know who did that. All right? Verse 10, the righteous shall be glad in Yahawah and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. Okay? At the end of the day. So let's keep it moving. Let's go to Proverbs 4:14. And it reads, Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. But you got individuals selling out that want to align with these devils. If you taking a 501(c), you selling out, you taking a bag, you teaching what they want you to teach. You are aligning with them. You are associating with them and their actions. So you're not going to go unpunished because you're joining hand in hand with the wicked, man. All right? Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not into the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. And you know this man is sleeping nice at night. He went in, unalived a couple Venezuelans, got the president and his wife, and now got him on trial. I bet he slept like a baby. Oh, he said, yeah, we did a good job. It was a job. What I saw was amazing. You'll probably never be able to see it. Well, I should have played it down press conference. It was hilarious, man. All right. This dude is insane. And he's broken what? He's broken international, what's the word? International, laws, rules of engagement, but doesn't matter to him. Nobody's really going to stand up and say it. They just debate. Did he break this? Did he break that? Well, it was justified because they were peddling drugs into America. Verse 17, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. Caught up in pride, caught up in foolishness. All right. The way of the what? Let's read it again. Verse 18. But as the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more into the perfect day. We continue and we progress to get better, to get closer to Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. As the wicked, they continue to go into darkness. All right. Let's keep it going. Let's go to Micah 2. We quoted it, so let's get it. Micah 2, 1 and 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Their beds symbolizing their rest. This man is at rest, but you're going forth and producing wickedness. That's going back to them not being able to sleep unless they do wickedness. So you're in a position of rest. You're in your rulership. You're in your kingdom, but you still got to come down on other individuals and make their life a living hell, right? When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. They do wickedness simply because they can. And they covet fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Taking away what? You don't know. You can't go back 5, 6, 7 generations. Your heritage, your house. All right. So you are fully oppressed mentally, psychologically, spiritually. You got our people calling on these false gods, these false names. All right. Esau is fully on our head. They got their foot on our neck. But because of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, certain individuals have been able to what? To stand upon their feet and remember who they are and come back into this thing. So we're back once again with our strength, with our power, which is Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Trust in him. He shall sustain thee. Right? So he's taking care of us. Okay. Let's go to Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Khan, I got an article. Let's go get this. So it's like Edomites work off of Edomites. They just been waiting. Let's read this. Britain says it and France bombed suspected Islamic State arms dumped in Syria. This happened right after DJT attacked. It was a planned attack, man. All right. Let's read this. Britain and France Air Forces conducted a joint operation on Saturday evening to bomb a suspected underground arms cache previously used by the Islamic State group in Syria. Britain's defense ministry said Western aircraft have been conducting patrols to stop a resurgence of the Islamic militant group that ruled parts of Syria until 2019. Intelligence analysis identified an underground facility believed to be used to store weapons and explosives in mountains north of Palmyra, Britain says. Our aircraft and pathway IV guided, 4 guided bombs to target a number of access tunnels down to facility. While this detailed assessment is now underway, initial indications are that the target was engaged successfully, Britain's defense ministry said in a statement, etc., etc. All right. So it's like full scale. It's like, let's go. Let's move. Let's do what we do. There's no repercussions for the YT man. As the scripture says, he's not in trouble as other men. Okay? You know, as we see with the small hats, how they continuously attack and bully individuals in that region, with Syria being one of them. You know? So it's nothing new. It's in the same book for them, man. All right? You could talk about treaties. You could talk about the Geneva, let's get this, the Geneva Conventions. All right, the Geneva Conventions are a series of international treaties, primarily the 4 conventions of 1949 that form the foundation of international humanitarian law by establishing legal standards for humane treatment during armed conflicts, protecting those not participating in hostilities like the wounded, sick, shipwrecked, prisoners of war, and civilians, and ensuring accountability for grave breaches. But where was that with Amalek and these so-called Palestinians? Okay, where was that with Gaza? All right, where's all of that? It's not existent. They have unalived more civilians than so-called insurgents, so-called Hamas. All right. Hey, you look at the before and after pictures of Gaza, it's crazy. It's like, damn, your war was with the city and the civilians? So Esau does not care. This is what people do not realize and understand. When this man gets to that point, he's going to say fuck it all and hit the button. On some D.D. Dexter's Lab shit. What does this button do? Boom, ICBM missiles going. Everybody unalive, and he doesn't care. He does not care about the fallout, man. He's not caring about the repercussions. He has a bunker that he can go into and he can be protected. He don't care about you and your family. It's not existing in his head. You are not a thought to him. You are just a number. All right, let's take it there. Let's go to Sirach, the 12th chapter, and begin to wrap it up. This is Sirach 12 and starting at 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity. I'm going to just read it. And an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. And the prosperity of a man's enemies will be greed, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. Let's go to Revelations, man. Revelation 17. Because Esau even goes against Esau. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns, NATO, the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Now, aren't they supposed to be friends? Right? Aren't you supposed to be rocking with America until the end, until death do us part? Okay, y'all, NATO, EU, Edomites. No, the house is divided. How can it stand? They're not going to stand. They're broken apart. They're fighting amongst each other. Once again, let's look up the history of America. How many years has America been at war? It's far more than it's been at peace. Let me type that in real quick. I know it's about 29 years they've been at peace. Damn. The United States has been at war for the vast majority of its existence, with some sources stating it has been involved in conflict for around 93% of the time since 1776, meaning only a few years of declared peace, primarily due to continuous military engagements, interventions, and the long American Indian Wars, while formal congressional declarations of war have been few, only for War of 1812, Mexican American, Spanish American, WW1, WW2, the U.S. has consistently engaged in military operations globally, making it perpetually involved in some form of conflict. All right. So, as you can see, America has been involved in war for 93% of the time that it's been alive. Similar to what? The Roman Empire, as we stated. It's a continuous war factory. That's what it's known for. War, war, war. Ever since their existence. Going back to the Greek Empire. War, war, war. That's all they did. You know? Even looking at Alexander's 4 generals. They what? After Alexander died, this is YouTube, I can talk. All right? After Alexander died, what happened? The generals fought each other. War, war, war. So it's consistent, man. It ain't no peace with these individuals. So going back, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. This guy, and I remember him saying this, he said this last week. He said, I was talking to Putin for 2 hours. You know, we had a good conversation. And then what happened to Putin's house? Drones attacked his house. Right? This is what's going on. They're softening their enemy up and then they're attacking. All right? And Ukraine is denying the attack, but Russia is confirming the attack. So, hey, that's what's going on, man. Hey, yeah, that's it. What the brother Kakama said, hey, Shalawam to you, brothers. Yahawah, Yahawashi, Barak, Ahtham. That's what he means to make America great again, war and oppression. Yeah, the Department of Defense turned into the Department of War. Because this is a nation of war. Esau is exposing his horns. He does not care anymore. He's about war. He wants to fight. He wants to unalive. He wants to kill. He's about that action. So he's going to use his blessing, which is the sword, all right, continuously and continuously and continuously. And it's ultimately going to lead to what? To nuclear conflict. Going back, Sirach 12:10, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. It's never done away with. His wickedness is always there. It's always ongoing. He has a perpetual hatred towards you. Amos 1:11. Let's get that. And it reads, thus saith Yahawah, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, continuously, ongoing, forever. Alright? It does not matter if everybody is well, that'll never be the case. I was about to say everybody's at peace, everybody got money, got resources. That'll never be the case. Esau forever wants to rule over you. He forever wants to be the top dog. He forever wants to have your neck under his boot. Okay? That's how he looks at you. He's prideful. He's more stout than his fellows, as it says. Okay? So, as long as he exists, he will always, in his heart, want to be over you, man. All right? Yeah, brother got a good one. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? So they're speaking safety, they're speaking peace. But once again, going back to that Psalms 55:21, it's war in their mind. It's war in their heart. Because they have a perpetual hatred and he kept his wrath forever. They have a perpetual grudge against you. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Esau may pretend to be your friend for a while. He may come around, he may give you this benefit, stimulus checks. All right, he'll give you this and give you that. But ultimately, he's setting you up for an attack. He's getting you open. He's getting you loose. All right, verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou, at the last, remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? Nobody's looking at you once Esau takes you over like that. You fell for the trap. You fell for it, man. This man is a man of war, man. All right? So for anybody that's selling out, you're falling apart, you're doing this, you're trusting in this devil, yeah, just take the chip, man. It's gonna be all right. Hey, you bit by a serpent. Nobody's gonna pity you. You fell for the charm. You fell for the wine of Babylon. This nation has been a nation of violence. That's consistent. That's on the resume. It will not change today, tomorrow. It has to be destroyed. It has to be purged. It has to be wiped clean. That's the only way it's going to change. And it will never exist again. It will be a desert wasteland. You know? So that's what it is, man. Hey, facing the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Father and the Son. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kadash. As always, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, and Shalawam, the Lord's hopeful elect. All right. Kwam Yasharahla, and a Baba Ball to this wicked kingdom. May Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi destroy this bitch yesterday. Ate the water for the precepts, and Shalawam to the Akyam. Shalawam. Shalawam.